Hey there, true believers. You're tuned into Baxter Building Radio via the Negative Zone feed. Welcome to episode 7 of the Fantastic Four Fancast. I'm your host, Nate Charles, and I'm joined by my co-host. His name is Shane Murray. Shane, how you doing tonight?
Hot. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, dude, scorched, man. Uh, I'm on camera and you're on camera, so we can see each other. You can see I got a little color today. But yeah, I went for a 4 mile hike and before going to the gym and yeah, sunblock. I think I sweated it off pretty substantially. Not terribly so. I don't feel like I'm really burned, but I definitely tanned up a little bit.
Well, I'm definitely burned.
How was your weekend?
All right. Did a little trip with the family, worked on some stuff with a buddy. How was your weekend, bud?
I don't know. I don't even remember what I did this weekend. It goes by way too
You
fast anymore.
I know we played D&D last night. That's
Yeah, we played D&D last night. Saturday, eh, yeah, went out to lunch with my mother. That was good, making sure she's okay. And uh yeah, and then yeah, D&D yesterday, and I got all of our social media accounts for this show up and running. That was the big thing. And then of course now I'm still working on stuff. Got a couple conventions coming up where I'm in charge of running cosplay competitions and some scheduling and whatnot. So I'm in the process of working on all of that. Hershey Comic Con on July 19th and 20th, and then NitneyCon on August 9th. So, yeah, just in the process of getting things finalized. So, a lot of work, but it was nice, even though it was sweltering hot. It was nice to be able to get outside and, get some exercise, try to take care of myself a little bit. What was your trip on Saturday?
went to Jim Thorpe, walked around Jim Thorpe for like 8 hours.
Find anything worth discussing?
No, not really.
Just the quaint town of Jim Thorpe. That's it. It's a nice area though.
Yeah, so last time we went through all the used bookstores. I think one of the used bookstores that was there closed or wasn't open this weekend because there's like two other restaurants that are closed for repairs. So this is their off season technically because of like the haunted stuff. They're more of like a fall town. So when they do any of like their repairs for the businesses and stuff, they do it all midsummer.
I mean, that makes sense. It is a area that, I mean, it's a beautiful area in general, but it is an area that lends itself very well to autumn weather.
Yeah, it's hot when you're walking up and down that street because it's literally just a uphill. You walk up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. It's just uphill or downhill.
They have that very gorgeous train station there in the middle of town too. That's
Yeah, yeah. That's where I met my friends so that we could it's the easiest place to meet up in that town. Then you just go from there.
cool. Well, I'm glad you had a good time at least, if uneventful.
No, it was eventful. The wife almost had heat stroke, so
You got to stay hydrated out there. I expect better from Aaron.
was hydrated. I didn't realize how close she was until uh she sat down next to me. We were waiting for some ice cream, and I touched her, and I said, "You aren't sweating."
That's a problem.
And she's like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "No, I have sweat pouring off me. All of the rest of us have sweat pouring off of us, like running off my fingers. You should have sweat running off of you." She's like, "It's okay." I'm like, "Nope, it's not. We're gonna leave now. You have checked out. We are done. The day is done. We're going home now."
At least got her a bottle of water. The important thing is she's okay. I'm
She
glad.
had two bottles of water, buddy, while she was n dry. That's the more concerning part.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so.
That was the whole part of getting her in the car, getting her in air conditioning, and driving her home so that if I did have to take her somewhere, I was closer to the house.
Well, no, that does make sense. Well, as I said, I'm glad she's all right. I'm glad you took notice of the condition she was in and were able to make that call.
Yeah. She didn't like it. She was mad. She's like, "Oh, it's fine." I was like, "You weren't fine." It's... It's okay. Somebody has to be the adult in this situation. I should never be the adult in any situation. Let's start. That's all. Let's admit this. So that's a problem.
Do you ever just have that moment where you're in the middle of a situation and something catastrophic happens, and the thought in your head is, I need an adult, and then you realize, oh no, that's me.
Yeah,
Because
all the
that happens
time.
way more than I like to admit, but it definitely happens.
Like, who's the active adult in charge here? And I'm like, oh, wait a second. I know that guy because I am that guy.
And as much as you want to say it, you can't say, "Oh, hey, that's above my pay grade," like, because we're well beyond that point.
Yeah. I do say that to the wife once in a while. Certain things come up with the kids, I literally look at her, I'm like, nope, above my pay grade. That's for the higher paid person in this house.
I forget, is she the breadwinner again? Did you guys finally hit that point?
Oh, always.
Oh, good, good.
It was only like a grand total of maybe a month, but
Consistency is important in life.
uh, being a lifetime disappointment to everybody around me is always what I'm here for.
Oh, I'm proud of you, buddy.
For keeping up my streak of being a disappointment, I'm also proud of me.
So, so much for the reassuring words. I'm glad we were able to double down on going back to the negative there. Oh,
Speaking of negative zone, you want to start this comic book?
well, yeah, I was going to say, speaking of pay grades and not having a good time, you know who else was not having a good time and it was affecting salaries? Was Marvel Comics in 1996.
Oh yeah, they were definitely not having a good time.
Because about that time is when probably about 6 months prior to when the book we're covering today, which is Fantastic Four Volume 2, number one, was published. Uh, the speculator bubble burst in the comics industry, and they were reporting record losses as far as sales were concerned. So much so that they ended up canceling not only Fantastic Four, but Captain America and Iron Man, the Avengers, Thor, Doctor Strange, and Silver Surfer. Not only that, but a couple years prior, you had that mass exodus of artistic talent leave Marvel and go off and form Image.
Yeah, the Image Exodus.
Yeah. So imagine the blow to morale when it leaks out that the president of Marvel at the time, uh, Jerry Calabrese, is making overtures to two of those artists, Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld, about taking over some of these books. Those books in particular being Captain America, Avengers, Iron Man, and of course, Fantastic Four. Not great.
It's amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there was longtime staffers that were let go during this point. Herb Trimpe, one of the co-creators for Wolverine,
Hmm.
uh, who actually in the 90s was very noted for a shift in his style artistically to try to keep up with the trends of the day. He was working on Fantastic Four Unlimited, I believe was the title. And all of a sudden, he just couldn't get work with Marvel anymore. Wasn't able to meet his quotas. So, rather large exodus of talent while they gave huge contracts back to Lee and Liefeld to reinvigorate these characters as the company just sort of careened towards bankruptcy.
Let's use that word. Reinvigorate. That's a great word.
Yeah, I mean, and two mixed results. So in preparation for reading tonight's book, I actually dug into. I honestly still can't believe I own this. It was an impulse purchase, but you can see I have the Heroes Reborn omnibus. So all of the
Where
heroes.
did you? Is that like a Baltimore trip? Like, did you get it for 35 bucks at Baltimore or something?
I think I got it through a discount graphic novel site.
Wow.
It's either that or it was an eBay find and it was on such a good deal that I was like, you know what, I need that. Because as you know, I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan, but I'm also a huge Captain America fan, and that's
I
volume
just
two of both books in there. So,
I thought you were just gonna say that you're just a big omnibus fan.
I mean, I am a big omnibus fan too. Go big or go home, man. Like,
Uh,
my styling
I
of
will. I like my little books. They're easier to bring around with me,
that is fair, but
and my back feels so much better.
oh man, I gotta have that strong back. I gotta have that Walt Simonson story
So first off,
reinforced.
last time you had to have all those. Speaking of Simonson books, those you had all those Thor books going around. Who has had them in their backpack, by the way?
I had them in my backpack.
I had them in my backpack because you didn't wear a backpack because you were going as Thor. You were going as Doctor Strange that day.
That wasn't Simonson. That was Mark Waid.
Was it Wade?
Yeah,
I don't
that was
remember,
the
dude.
Captain America by Wade and Garney, Andy Kubert omnibus, and the Wade and Wernigo Fantastic Four. And Shane, I am forever grateful for the fact that you helped me with those books that day. Honestly, I probably owe you money for having done that, because otherwise we're operating under rules I'm not comfortable with. But yeah, I'm forever an omnibus fan after that time that I met Walter Simonson when I was carrying his whole th run of Thor on my back. And yeah, he started at his table like midway through the day. I think you were at this show with me, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just went up to him and I popped that thing out. I was like, I've been carrying this on my back all day. I'm so happy to meet you. I love this run. And he looked at me. He was like, "This was on your back the whole day." And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, well, then you get the big signature. So on the interior of that cover, you just have, Simonson scribbled out on there, and the O on that thing is just huge. Like it is incredible. Every time I open that book, it just sparks joy.
There's always one book you have signed that always sparks joy.
Anyway, uh, where was I? Oh yeah, so in preparation for reading this, I actually just started reading the entirety of that omnibus in order, which I'm glad I did. It actually starts with Heroes Reborn number half, which I think was like a Wizard magazine exclusive, if I'm not mistaken, back when they used to do that. It had two stories in it.
Yeah,
Uh, Two stories in it, which one was Captain America setting up that series, maybe like, I don't know, 6 to 8 pages, just showing what Liefeld was doing with Captain America and showing a couple of the characters coming up. Then the second story was an Iron Man story, about the same length. But it's where we do get the first appearance of the Heroes Reborn version of Reed Richards, as he consoles Tony Stark over the loss of his friend Rebel, who I guess was the man who tested the Iron Man suit and ended up losing his life. So it kind of helps set up the continuity that at least those two knew each other before. And then after that, about 5 issues of Captain America and an issue of Avengers, we get into the Fantastic Four, and there's not really any mention of the FF anywhere after that. Um, it's a mixed bag. Some of it I like more than others. From what I've read, though, I will say that Fantastic Four Volume 2, number 1 has so far been the best of the bunch. Anyway, you ready to start diving into this book today, Shane?
do you want to start with the cover or you want to start with the background information we usually start with, like creative team, time?
So we're gonna start going with the information here.
All right.
So we got Fantastic Four, Volume 2, number 1. cover date of November 1996, but the release date was actually September 4th, 1996. Almost 29 years ago, just off by a couple months. The original cover price was $2.95. Want to take a guess what we're looking at for it today, Shane?
450.
So if you actually have like a near mint graded condition copy of it, you're looking at about $40.57 was the most recent sale. That being said, an ungraded, a whole $1.94.
Woo!
So if you're lucky, you might be able to find this in a dollar bin somewhere. If you want a reading copy.
I'm pretty sure I could find this in a dollar bin. I don't know if I want a reading copy though.
Why
Maybe.
not?
Could take it to Jim and have him sign it. Get all like get it signed slowly.
Speaking of our creative team for this issue, plots by Jim Lee, writer is Brandon Choi, penciler Jim Lee, inker Scott Williams, colorist is Joe Kyoto and Martin Jimenez, along with Wildstorm FX. Letterers were Richard Starkings and Comic Craft and Dave Lamphere. And the editors were Mike Heisler and Jonathan Peterson. This would normally be where I give you a synopsis via Marvel Unlimited, but they decided not to provide us one this time. So we're gonna go
I
ahead and just skip over that.
I think they just don't. I don't know how you put it as a synopsis. Revision of Fantastic Four #1 with a '90s perspective.
That's about as good as any. So Shane, there are actually two covers to this book.
Oh,
So let's start with the main cover here, Shane. What are we looking at?
so on the regular cover, you have the Fantastic Four in all of their glory over top of a Doom, but you barely see him because it's covered up by Fantastic Four, with just a little bit of his eyes hanging out. Reed all powered up, stretchy arms, Human Torch flying at you with on fire. The Thing looking like he's just about to clobber everyone, and Sue there in her invisible bubble.
I like the corner box with Sue as well in the remnants of her astronaut uniform.
Yeah, yeah, that I really do like. You know me, I'm a sucker for corner boxes. You know that I do that sometimes when we're at shows. I just draw corner boxes. So, and you even got your old Comic Code Authority little thing there on the corner.
Back then, that was a thing. R.I.P.
Well, like I said, it's little. I don't like it's teeny tiny on that cover.
It is, but it's there nonetheless. So I'm not gonna lie to you, Shane. I really like this cover.
The
Um,
this cover or the second cover?
this cover, the main cover, I really like it.
Or-
Um, as a fan of the Fantastic Four, I mean, yeah, the costumes are a little 90s inspired, like, and that was the time. Lots of straps and shoulder pads and whatnot. But I mean, between the menacing eyes of Doom in the background, the whole team there in the foreground, look, and then the way that that Jim Lee draws the thing, like, I mean, it's it's a solid cover.
it's a great start for a #1. That's a great cover for a #1. Yeah.
Now on the variant cover, what do we got?
So the variant cover, we have the legendary villain himself, the Mole Man, and you have still have all four of the Fantastic Four going a different direction. They're looking to the left this time instead of looking to the right. You have what does he call those guys again?
Moloids.
That's what I thought. I just didn't want to say it wrong. So the moloids, you got the moloids there looking like they're surrounding them, but not threateningly. Sue's kind of going a little bit invisible there. You can see in her legs. Uh it's an interesting cover for what leads to at the end of this book. Definitely cover one for me would be the cover I would get if I was gonna get a cover. This
Uh,
cover's cool, but cover one's definitely the cover.
I agree that I do like this cover as well, but I do prefer cover one. I did, while you were talking, get to looking at the distribution ratio. It was distributed on a 1-to-1 ratio between cover A and cover B. So
Mm, That's even more strange. Never, it doesn't usually happen like that, but I'm cool with that. That's cool. They probably thought they were trying to make money, and that was probably a way to get people to buy two cover copies of every book.
very true.
At least they didn't put any glow in the dark on it.
Yeah. I also feel kind of bad because, normally we go over the adaptations of these books. And when we covered Fantastic Four Volume 1, Number 1 in episode 2, I did not mention this as an adaptation, which it definitely is.
Oh, it is 100% an adaptation. But we did say adaptation in other media, so this is still technically the same media format.
That's true. And I mean, by the same token, at that point I didn't mention Fantastic Four Season 1 or anything along those lines either. But
Season
Ultimate
one, and
Fantastic Four. So yeah, you gave me an out. I should take it.
yeah.
All right, so let's dive in. 56 pages, including ads. Luckily, we're not going to be reading those. We open up, and what is our first shot here, Shane?
All right, so we have a ship over Earth just looking like it's doing an experimental run with a solid name for any ship that should be in Marvel Comics.
Yes, so the ship at this point is called the Excelsior. Do you know what the actual canon name is for the Fantastic Four's ship they took up?
So, oh man, I did know that, but it's not coming to me.
The Marvel One.
That's also fantastic. They are the ones that started it.
We start with some Ben Grimm narration here. The dream's always the same. It begins with a perfect launch. You're looking good, Excelsior. But this time it takes a fantastic twist. And inside the ship, we see Sue and Johnny. Susie and Johnny, what are they doing here? You did it, Ben. It's too dangerous. And an alarm starts going off.
Yep. Vreep, vreep, vreep.
That's when the warning indicators start lighting up like a Christmas tree. Radiation's flooding into the main compartment. Out of nowhere, Reed pops into the scene and tries to salvage the situation, but even he runs out of answers. Ben, you've got to get us back to Earth. But before I get a chance to do anything, Johnny burst into flames before my very eyes. My friends, my ship, they're all dying.
Breep, breep, breep.
When there's suddenly a phone call from me. Major Grimm, do you copy? Hello, Ben? No, not a phone. It's the intercom. And what are we seeing here, Shane?
Um, you're seeing Ben in like his flight suit, looking like he fell asleep in his flight suit. Almost like it was like a test to see if it was good to go.
And he's being overseen by Reed Richards and a scientist named Isaac Herbert. Isaac says,
You can get up now, Major Grimm. We've completed the simulation.
huh? Oh. Right. Told you guys I could do this with my eyes closed. Sometimes I really do question Major Grimm's attitude. This wasn't how we did it in the old days, Reed. It's no surprise that he never advanced beyond being a test pilot. Trust me, Isaac, Ben Grimm is one of the finest aviators this country has ever produced. As a boy, all he ever dreamed about was becoming an astronaut. Unfortunately, this may be as close as he'll ever get. If he hadn't been wounded during the Gulf War, he might very well have been commander of the Excelsior on this mission. So we get our first update there to the lore where instead of being in World War II, Ben was a pilot in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Now, Ben throws open the door.
Ka-chang.
Another flawless performance, Ben. At least Isaac can never complain about that. Compared to flying combat sorties, Reed, this stuff is just a walk in the park. So what's the latest word on the mission? Washington says it's still a go. Guess that means we're done with these tests on the prototype? Yes, as soon as Isaac transfers the simulation data over to the Excelsior, we'll be ready to launch. I feel as though we're standing at the threshold of a new era in scientific inquiry. If anyone's gonna get us there, it'll be you, old buddy. I appreciate the vote of confidence, Ben, but do me a personal favor. Do try to stay awake for the remaining simulation exercises, okay? And they go walking out into the desert. And what
Yeah.
do they come across here if, aside from the credits, which lists that Stan Lee presents the rebirth of the world's greatest comic magazine, Renaissance.
Yeah, they come across the actual ship, the Excelsior, in all of its fantastic glory. It is so silver, man. So it looks like a jet that just has extra engines put on it. So it's like it has a basic, almost like the Blackbird design from X-Men, which makes sense. And then it just like we're just gonna stack motors on top of it so that when it launches, it can just drop them off, I guess, as it's traveling through.
So as they come across the Excelsior, they are also somewhat mobbed by other scientists working on the project. Ben tries to reassure Reed, "You promised to take me with you on the Excelsior. You really outdid yourself this time, Reed." She represents the next generation of spacecraft, Ben. With my new quantum drive powering the propulsion and shielding systems, the human race will finally be able to explore the wonders of the universe beyond our own solar system. Taking the Excelsior up to study the approaching space anomaly will be an important first step in proving the ship's capabilities. And if it were up to me, old friend, you'd be the man sitting in the pilot's seat. Excuse me, Dr. Richards, but I have the astronavigation charts you requested. And here are the performance specs for the propulsion units. Yes, I'll be right with you. I'm out of here, Einstein. What's up, Richie? You look a little tense. A phone call for Dr. Richards. It's Miss Storm herself calling from New York. Here, let me take care of that. Hey, darling, how's life in the corporate boardroom? Ruthless as ever, Ben. Is Reed with you? Your Romeo's off doing his Mr. Science shtick. To what do we owe the pleasure of this call, Susie Q? And we turn the page and we get our first glimpse at Susan Storm. What's she wearing there, Shane?
Very 90s clothing. It is definitely showing you that it's of the time. Though it's real weird because like I'm not sure if the purple pants are supposed to be see-through or not.
I think that's actually supposed to be like a dress or skirt.
No, it's definitely pants. They're definitely pants. They're just baggy pants.
Because if you
Because
look
it,
in the top panel there, you see how it's sheer and transparent, and it comes down and it's just kind of dropping across her her hips like that, and then at the bottom, it looks like
Yeah,
a dress to me.
yeah. If you go to the next page, though, you'll see that it's pants because when she's sitting on the table, she had their legs, both legs are there. So it's weird. It's a weird design. Very parachute pantsy of the 90s. Let's put it that way. But it's like also sh it's weird. It was just a way to silhouette her body through the purple, I guess. I don't know. But nonetheless, short hair, uh very blonde and very business as usual.
Benjamin J. Grimm, you're the only man in the world who could call me that and live. You know me, Susie. I like living on the edge. Besides, it sounds better than calling you boss. So what's up? I just wanted to tell Reed that I'm flying out west to Central City today. A little romantic surprise for Loverboy. Actually, Johnny and I will be arriving at Vandermeer this evening to input the final launch codes for Contact One. You got Johnny to leave Vegas to come out to the boonies? How'd you ever pull that off? Simple. He wants a piece of the Excelsior to use as a PR gimmick for the Storm casinos. He thinks it'll be a big tourist magnet when the story finally goes public. Storm casinos, and as we see later on down the page, part of the Storm Foundation. How do you feel about this alteration to the Storm Cinemas background?
Um, it's weird.
Ben, is there any way I can talk to Reed? I want to make sure that he remembers to pick me up at the airport. Ben holds the phone out towards Reed. Don't say I didn't warn you. Here, take a listen for yourself. These results are intriguing, Larry. Let's run a quantum phase comparison to analyze the subatomic particle distribution of the. I guess that means I'll be taking a limo out to Vandermeer. Don't even think about it. I'll pick you up at the airport. You're too good to me, Ben. Don't I know it? Suddenly,
Knock, knock.
oops, I have to go. See you later, and don't be late. Am I ever? And there's an older man at the office door for Sue.
Hmm.
And what does he look like?
Oh, he looks like a generic old man, slick backed white hair, receding hairline, brown suit. Weirdly, with a pinstripe white, it just doesn't really go with the brown suit, the pinstripe white button up. But I don't, what do I know? I'm not a fashionista, especially with that tie. This dude, clearly his wife left him. He's dressing himself.
I thought he looked kind of like Jim Gordon myself.
A little bit, a
Hmm.
little bit, but Jim puts himself together a little bit better than that. Jim knows solid color, white undershirt. I'm just saying. I'm just calling him as I see him.
And he's accompanied by another gentleman, and can you walk me through his appearance as well?
Um, Slick back hair, black suit with a turtleneck and little handkerchief coming out of the pocket there. And Mr. Classy himself, or at least he thinks so.
Oh, yes. Uh, he is a tall, he looks like he has some Native American heritage to him. Um, I'm sorry to bother you, Susan, but there's someone I'd like you to meet. This is Special Agent Wyatt Wingfoot. Now, this is interesting to me because as we've gone through Volume 1 and we're only 3 issues in, we have not yet encountered Wyatt Wingfoot, who is a very stalwart ally to the Fantastic Four. He was originally introduced as Johnny Storm's roommate, I think just after the uh, Coming of Galactus saga. Uh, Now, he's a special agent, so little bit of turning things on its head here. He's now in charge of the Excelsior project.
Mm.
What? But we promised Reed. What's all this about, Uncle Matthew? There's been a change in plans, Susan. And who authorized it? The President of the United States, Ms. Storm. At 0800 hours, the White House was informed by the National Space Agency of an unusual energy fluctuation within the stellar anomaly. As a result, it has been officially designated as a threat to the national security of this country and must be dealt with accordingly. To that end, the Excelsior project is now under my control. Its new code name will be Contact One. Let's cut to the chase. What exactly does all that mean, Agent Wingfoot? My men and I will be traveling with you to Vandermeer to take custody of the spacecraft. Do either my father or brother know about this? Not yet, but it wouldn't really matter anyway, Ms. Storm. Elsewhere, and we see a reporter standing in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening. This is Colleen Chang reporting for American Tabloid from the area known only as Sector 52, located outside of Central City. For the past several months, stories have been circulating amongst the locals that this place is a major focal point of UFO activity, allegedly tied to a secret military base hidden somewhere within the mountainous terrain. In fact, many conspiracy theorists are convinced that a clandestine government agency is in fact preparing to make contact with alien life. Ironically, their claims happen to coincide with the recent news of a stellar anomaly discovered by astronomers just outside of our own solar system. The media has no idea what it's talking about. How can you listen to that hogwash, Reed? And Isaac clicks off the television.
Yep, with a nice solid click. So it's a old school remote.
Don't underestimate the power of the free press, Isaac. Most of what she reported wasn't so far from the truth. The only thing she didn't know about were the subatomic particle emissions that we've been tracking from the anomaly. I'm beginning to suspect that this stellar manifestation could in fact be an emerging subspace wormhole, and thus a conduit for the particles. Which makes me wonder, why are we keeping all this a secret? And how do you explain the particles' distinct and regular pattern? Could this be some sort of message from another quadrant of space? This may be our first opportunity to make contact with alien life. That's what this project is all about, Isaac, and why I agreed to work with the Storm Foundation in the first place. Susan Storm put her faith in me and my research, and I don't intend to let her down. Look, Reed, I believe in you. It's Major Grimm I'm worried about. Don't worry, Isaac. Ben's got the right stuff. And our scene changes. And what do we see, Shane?
We see Ben ripping off in a Jeep, heading to go get Sue. And he got a nice room and a little room coming behind it.
Oh, this is just great. The government builds a $1 billion spaceship in the middle of the desert, but doesn't bother to pave a lousy road to get to it. And that car that was coming up behind him, he finally catches a glimpse of in the rearview mirror. Huh? What the? And what do we see here?
A Lamborghini. A Lamborghini in the desert. Just logical. Johnny Storm logic at its finest.
Who'd be crazy enough to drive a Diablo out here?
Beep beep.
Hey, watch out, you idiot.
Vroom.
You tired of living, buddy? Or just your $250,000 car?
Honk honk.
And the window rolls down, and what do we see?
We see a little redhead brunette start talking to him just with her eyes and really gets him intrigued. And we got a little vroom.
Hey there, handsome. Seems I'm a little lost. Interested in helping me find my way? Oh, sweet Aunt Petunia, it'd be my pleasure. But then she leans back, and what do we see?
Johnny full on cackling.
Dream on, old man. You'd never be able to keep up with Tiffany. She likes her men young and her cars fast. Johnny Storm. I should have known it was you. Always the boy playing with a man's toy. When I get my hands on you. And what happened, Shane?
Uh, Johnny steps on that accelerator. You see a little vroom, very long, as he takes off and leaves him in the dust.
Reality check, war hero. You'd have to catch me first. And that ain't gonna happen. Crazy kid's gonna get them both killed. Just can't believe that hothead is Susie's little brother. And
Screech! As he turns around to head back at him.
what's he doing now? That idiot's playing chicken with me? He can't be that stupid.
And you see a vroom as he launches the car back at uh Ben himself.
I ought to know better than to let him get me all riled up like this.
And apparently Ben all takes this as a challenge and decides to also draw stomp down on his accelerator.
All the heck with it. If he's gonna talk the talk, then it's time to walk the walk.
And you get that great shot of the Lamborghini heading at the Jeep like they're playing chicken.
Moment of truth, Grim. Let's see if the heroes still got it. You're both crazy! Stop the car! Let me out of here!
And you just see a pile of dust from the Jeep and from the Lamborghini.
As they speed toward each other.
Yep.
You're gonna get us killed! Watch it, Tiffany. Don't touch the wheat. And Tiffany, I believe, grabs the wheel and pulls it out of the way.
Vrsh.
He choked!
Yeah.
What happens here, Shane?
Um, Johnny falls into like off slightly. It looks like it was an elevated path, and he goes down the elevated path and into the more actual sandy part of the desert where they're at.
Son of a...
And is yep, you hear a wimp crunch. The Lamborghini's not doing so hot.
Ooh, talk about your crash and burn. There, I can see him now. Looks like they're both all right. At least until she gets her hands on Johnny. And Tiffany does not look happy.
Oh, she looks ecstatic. What are you talking about?
You are such a jerk! I'm walking back to town. Do you hear me? Walking. Fine, whatever. Never be able to live this down. You egotistical. Are you still here? A short while later at the Central City Airport. And looks like Ben has arrived at Sue's private jet.
Oh yeah.
Fancy schmancy set of wings you got there, Susie Q. By the way, you're late. You know how I hate airline food, Ben. And it's good to see you again, too. Then give the old bear a hug. So how's my favorite boss? Feeling much better now, thank you. We'll just have to get you out of the office more often then. How was the flight? Got a little rough over the Midwest for a while. I thought it might have been you flying the plane. Anyway, that's why we're running late. Have you seen Johnny today? Yeah, you could say I sort of ran into him on the way over. Last I saw, he was doing some off-roading. Anyway, we'd better get you to Vandermeer. Hope you weren't carrying anything delicate in these designer bags. And Ben
Yeah,
is just tossing them into the back of the Jeep.
yeah, it just says womp thump whack. He's literally got zero cares to give.
You know me better than that. I just threw some old outfits together. Well, the clothes may be old, but the spooks are new. What's their story? Ben, this is Special Agent Wingfoot. So, you here for the Waters? Good evening, Major Grimm. I've heard a lot about you. And so is my Aunt Petunia, but she still loves me anyway. And they return to the launch site, and it is very heavily guarded at this point. The ship is impressive indeed. My men look forward to launching Contact One. Your men? Is this some kind of joke? When Reed finds out about this, he's gonna clobber you upside the head. And we move into Reed's office, where he is now flanked by Johnny.
Hmm.
What? Washington is taking me off the project? They can't do this. This is bull. I should have been notified about something like this. Are you sure the message is authentic, Dr. Herbert? It came directly from Storm Foundation headquarters and was signed by your Uncle Matthew. But that doesn't make any sense. Sue's in charge of the aerospace division. There's no way she'd do this to Reed. Who else would have the authority? And as the door opens, there's a sound.
Yep. Zzz, click.
That would be me, Dr. Richards. Ben! Sue! What's going on? Who are these men? I'm Special Agent Wingfoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm here to take over the operations of Contact One by authority of the President of the United States. S.H.I.E.L.D.? What are you guys, the CIA's farm team? Worse, Ben, they're a deep cover black ops agency. Who we are is irrelevant. The only thing that matters now is that you are all under my jurisdiction. The White House has declared the stellar anomaly a threat to this nation, and I'm here to deal with it accordingly. What are you talking about? There's been no indication that poses any sort of danger to us. In fact, I believe, but I don't care. Your opinion is now irrelevant, Dr. Richards. Oh, yeah? Well, I think it's clobbering time, so why don't we just step outside and... Ben, please. Violence won't solve anything. But Reed! Not now, old friend. I see the two of you pose a risk to my operation. Take them away and lock them up. Reed, I'm sorry. So they take Ben and Reed away, leaving Sue and Johnny and Dr. Herbert with the agents.
Hmm.
Miss Storm, I must protest what is going on here. This was supposed to be a scientific endeavor. I wish I knew, Isaac. Miss Storm, you and your brother will now input the final launch codes for Contact One into the command console. According to my brief, the two of you must register your hand imprints simultaneously on the biometric scanner. This is a big mistake, sis. Right now, we don't have a choice, Johnny. On the count of three. 3, 2, 1. Mark. Imprint verified. Launch access granted. But this is where I draw the line, Agent Wingfoot. Even patriotism has its limits. Then you two will also be confined to quarters. Think again, G-Man. I'm calling my lawyer right, Agent King. And what happens here, Shane?
Oh, you get a nice thunk as he gets punched and knocked out.
Ugh. Thank you. Now get them both out of here. Johnny! We launched the spacecraft within the hour. This has gone too far. I'm calling the police. Ah! And what happens, Shane?
He gets hit with all it's like all electric and brass knuckles right in the back of the head. And he get a nice zerp as he's electrocuted.
Unfortunately for you, Dr. Herbert, you are now expendable. And Herbert hits the ground and is uh, a smoking corpse.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
You murderer! Consider yourself fortunate, Ms. Storm. My orders are to keep you and the others alive. For now. What's this all about? Simply stated, we intend to use your creation to destroy the Harbinger before he reaches the planet. Now lock up Ms. Storm and her brother. Secured SATCOM line is now open. And on the sat line screen, what are we seeing, Shane?
We have a throne and a green hood.
I trust everything is proceeding as planned. Yes, phase one is now complete. Your counterfeit credentials worked perfectly. Of course they did. And
Mm.
what face do we see in the next panel, Shane?
Oh, just a beautiful freaking Doctor Doom face with the eyes looking right at you. They look like they're looking into your soul, just piercing and menacing at the same time.
That is one thing I'm going to give Jim Lee. I mean, Jim Lee's obviously a great artist, but I feel like Jim Lee may draw the most expressive eyes in comics.
That's not a unfair, because like the next panel also is very expressive eyes. Like this book definitely has expressive eyes.
I am not a man who tolerates mistakes. But your time grows short. My sensors indicate that the anomaly has nearly arrived. The missiles and scanners are being loaded aboard the spacecraft as we speak. Nothing can stop us now. We will not fail. Victor Von Doom. A nice little twist bringing Doom in more in line with the origin.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, over in Detention Block A, what do we see here, Shane?
You see Reed and Ben in a jail cell together, and Reed's, in his thinking man pose, and Ben's thinking about probably breaking those bars and skipping town.
If only he had the strength.
Ah, soon enough.
Looks like they just finished fueling the coolant for the quantum drive. Guess they really are taking her up. Who the hell are these guys? How do they know so much about the ship? And what the heck do they want her for? I hope I'm not boring you, Reed. Quite the contrary, Ben. I've been asking myself these very same questions. Come up with any answers? No, just speculation at best, my friend. Then here's a major clue for you, buddy. Those guys are loading a nuke onto the ship. What are they gonna do? Blow her up? No, if that was their intention, why even bother prepping it for launch? I believe this has something to do with a stellar anomaly. Destroy it? But why? I don't know. But it would be a terrible mistake. There's still so much we don't know, and if they launch the ship, we'll be helpless to stop them. Don't bet on it. And Ben looks out the window, and what does he see here?
He sees Johnny and Sue walking with the secret agents to their jail cell.
I got a feeling that luck just may be a lady tonight. We've got to do something. Johnny, don't be stupid. These men are trained killers. Quiet. Keep walking. You know what we need? A little diversion. And what does Johnny do?
Johnny pushes the panic button on his car.
Which causes
Honk, 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 honk,
can't,
honk.
can't see. And then what does Johnny do, sir?
He whacks him with a. This looks like a stick that he found. Maybe a pole.
I think he found a pipe on the ground.
Mm, maybe.
Lights out, buddy. Now's our chance, Sue. Just stay cool and all. And what is Sue doing?
Sue figures out how to hit him with something else, and you hear a clang.
Yeah, it looks like there was a barrel that was in front of the pipe that Johnny grabbed, and she grabs a hold of that. Control! We have a... Whoa!
Clang.
Be able to take care of myself. And then what happened, Shane?
Oh yeah, she freaking kicks him square in the jaw, man, with a nice solid crack to the face.
It's about time those kickboxing moves you taught me finally paid off. Huh! Not bad, sis. With that kind of kick, you could have been a rockette. Those outfits do nothing for me. Besides, I make better money. Help! Terrorist on the base! Huh, I didn't hear any. Hold it, you're the storm! Poof! And as Johnny rams this guard into the door, what happens?
Ben comes up from behind and holds his mouth shut to chokes him out, basically.
Way to go, kid. I'll take it from here. No, he's mine. This is for Isaac. And what does Johnny do?
Nice solid punch to the face. Thulk.
And after the guards are relieved of their keys, they free Ben and Reed. Sweetheart, what are you doing here? I couldn't just leave you, Reed. Come on, time to split. Anytime you're ready, folks. And what happens?
Oh, the mandatory, this is pop culture, so you have to have a kiss because they've met back up for the first time. And that's the first thing you think of, not escaping. It's always a smooch.
All right, so what now? We have to stop Wingfoot and his plans for the Excelsior. But what seems to happen here at this point, Shane?
Um, an alarm goes off.
Not by yourself, big brain. And what do the four do?
Well, four start getting dressed to go into space. They're putting on spacesuits.
You and Susie shouldn't be here, kid. This kid just saved your hide today. Besides, you need us to initiate the launch code. This isn't a game, Johnny. Going up in the prototype is going to be dangerous. You could both get killed. We already put our lives on the line, and I say we stay together all the way. And Johnny puts his hand out, and what happens?
They all put their hands out like they do in the first issue of Fantastic Four initially. Yeah, so much so that Ben is the last one to join the pile.
I'm with you, Johnny. Reed, after all you've done, Sue, how could I refuse you? Ben, looks like I've got no choice. I'm in.
And you hear a rumble, rumble.
What's that noise? It's gotta be the Excelsior taking off.
And you get a nice solid whoosh.
There she goes. Looks like a perfect launch. Then stop your gawking! We're running out of time if we're gonna make it into the same launch window. But make no mistake, kid, this ain't gonna be a cakewalk. Especially if we end up butting heads with those SHIELD agents. The prototype will get us into space, but she doesn't have the fuel capacity or the reinforced shielding of the Excelsior. There's no guarantee that any of us will make it back. That should have been us up there, Sue. We were the ones who worked so hard to make this dream a reality. But now, she's gone. It only proves that your work was a success, Reed. But now the important thing is to stop Contact 1 before Wingfoot can carry out his plan. Enough of the wishful thinking, people. The prototype's our only ticket out of here. So let's get moving. They enter the elevator.
Yep, got a nice solid click, click, clack.
Wow. I guess this is it, huh, Reed? Remember, Johnny, once we climb aboard, there is no turning back. Too much is at stake here. Not only for science, but perhaps all mankind. You're preaching to the choir, Reed. Now let's light this firecracker. Johnny, are you ready to input the launch code? Huh? Oh, yeah. On my mark, sis. 3, two, one, mark. It's perfectly normal to be nervous, Johnny, on your first trip into space. Hey, you want pressure. You try running a casino. These stakes are a lot higher, kiddo. Up there, bad luck will get you killed. Buckle up, folks. I'm initiating the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Outstanding. Reed, we have liftoff.
Sir, I'm picking up an unauthorized launch on the number two pad. The prototype is taking off.
And what do we see here, Shane?
Um, Wyatt smoking a cigarette, computer screen. Just very Jurassic Park.
Sir, the prisoners are reported missing, and the guards have been found unconscious. That means Major Grimm and Dr. Richards are aboard that ship. Can you abort their launch? Negative, sir. The onboard launch code overrides any of our countermeasures. And what's happening in our next panel, Shane?
Oh yeah, it's launching off and they're dropping off their first set of boosters. You see a Cthulhu, Cthulhu, and a nice room as they're taking off into space. It's a beautiful shot. I love the smoke and all.
Ben, we have primary booster separation. Is that supposed to happen? It means the fun's just begun, Susie. G-forces are increasing as we accelerate and enjoy the ride. Appro- Approaching escape velocity. Secondary booster separation complete. Now we're entering an orbital pattern, Sue. We did it, Reed. Don't pop the champagne, Susie. We ain't out of the woods yet. In fact, the forest seems to be growing thicker. It appears that others share our interest in the stellar anomaly. Speaking of the stellar anomaly, what are we seeing?
We have um several ships out checking out this green. Almost looks like a rip in space.
There's the Excelsior now. Stay close to her, Ben. It's time we found out what Mr. Wingfoot's plans are.
Reed, something is happening out there. The star field. It's becoming distorted. You better take a look at this, Reed. Sensors are picking up increased subspace activity. Yes, good lord. That means the source is getting closer. The signal is much more powerful. I can see a distinct pattern now. It is some sort of code. Someone is trying to contact us. Incredible. I'm registering a disturbance within the subspace field itself. This could be a sign of the wormhole finally emerging. But more importantly, the tachyon emissions I detected earlier now appear to be directed towards two geographic points on the Earth. Wait, there's a spike in the energy pattern. Ben, increase power to our shields to compensate. Reed, take a look at this. Fireworks off to our port side. Radiation levels are becoming dangerous. Pull us back, Ben. The prototype shields weren't designed to withstand this kind of intensity. Something's coming out of that subspace distortion field, Reed. But that's impossible. Nothing could withstand. Ben, check out the Excelsior. She's firing her stationary thrusters, kid. Oh no, Reed, they've dropped the nukes. Mission control, missiles away. Those fools, they have no idea what they're doing. And what do we see here with the subspace anomaly?
Right. Next page or this still same page?
Still the same page.
Um, it starts turning like a pink, very Kirby-like space thing going on in there.
The Kirby crackle.
Yeah.
And
And
then in the
then
following panel,
You see like a body almost start forming in the middle of it.
So the Excelsior starts firing missiles at this anomaly.
Hmm.
And what do we have on the next page, Shane?
You have an explosion. Bright green explosion. Very pretty splash page. And it looks like everyone almost is dead, but that's all their nice radiation going through the ship. Don't mind that. That's super healthy for you.
The heck with them. We gotta get out of here before those missiles explode. Good Lord. Radiation readings have gone off the scale. Our shields won't hold. Ben, you've got to get us back to Earth. Warning, warning, secondary hull has been ruptured. Coolant system compromised. What? What's happening? We're in a world of trouble. Ship's breaking apart. I'm shutting down the gamma core. That means we'll lose all power to the shields. We won't be able to block out any of the radiation from the stellar anomaly. Ah! Somebody do something! Can't stand the pain! Everybody, abandon ship! Before it's too late!
There's a nice giant kaboom as the anomaly just kind of blows up. And it
And what's
looks like
happening on board the ship, Shane?
they're all getting thrown around in the ship. Um, Nothing comfortable.
The ship's infrastructure is buckling! Radiation is flooding into the main compartment! It can't end like this. We were so close! We're not finished yet, Reed. Everybody get to the escape pods. Right behind you. Huh? My spacesuit is disintegrating! Got to stabilize the ship. Give the others a chance to escape. And what do we see on our next page, Shane?
We see the ship on fire falling back to Earth very rapidly. No controlled fall this time. When they crash this time, it's not as nice as the one from Fantastic Four #1.
But Shane, this is Fantastic Four #1.
All right, Lee and Kirby, Fantastic Four #1. Differently.
Losing navigation. Ship going down. Except this time, it's not a dream. And what do we see when we switch scenes here?
So we go back to the Jurassic Park scene where Wyatt Wingfoot is still smoking a cigarette because why not? It's super classy. And then you see in the next panel them all abandoning ship. And then you see a giant, it ends with them crash landing into an island.
Status report. Contact 1 is returning to base and should arrive within the hour. And the prototype? According to our sensors, the ship is disintegrating upon re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. Excellent. Estimated point of impact? The Caribbean Sea. Somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. What do we see here, Shane?
So we see the we start this page with the monkeys like just chilling, and then you hear a verboom.
And what do we see as a result of that explosion?
We see Johnny crawling out of a crater on fire, yelling.
I, I'm burning up! Ah! What's
We get
happening to
a
me?
nice whoosh as he like looks like he jumps out of the crater.
And what happens when we turn the page?
You see him. You see that he launched, and you see his little fire trail as he's about to land into the ocean.
I'm lit up like some kind of human torch. Gotta put out the flames. Wait, there's water below me. Just have to reach it.
Kerplash.
Hold it. Was I really flying? No time to think about that right now. My lungs feel like they're about to burst. Got to get back to the surface before I drown. This this is all wrong. What'd I ever do to deserve? Snap out of it, man. Just deal with it. The others could be in trouble too. Huh? What's this? And what is Johnny finding here?
Rubber that's human skin tone, and he's not quite sure what he found. He's very distraught by the appearance of it, though.
Feels like flesh, warm to the touch. But what's it connected to? Oh my god, it's a hand. Is this some kind of bizarre magic trick? Hold it. There's the rest of the body. Reed? Take it easy. I've got you now. What the heck happened to us up there? The stellar anomaly emitted a powerful energy pulse when it was attacked. After our shields failed, we were exposed to high levels of cosmic radiation. Right now, there's no telling what it may have done to us or how long we may have to live. Well, take a look at this, Reed. I've become a human Zippo. What's he do, Shane?
He lights his thumb on fire, or his finger on fire, his index finger on fire.
Well, I possess the ability to stretch my body to incredible lengths. You're not stuck like that, are you? No, it appears that I can equally contract my body parts at will. Somehow the radiation has mutated our very biomolecular structure and thereby imbued us with fantastic powers. But I'll have a better idea of what happened after I analyze the data from the prototype's black box. What does Reed do?
Oh, he starts hunting for the black box, of course, because very Reed thing to do. And of course, he finds it.
This little memory chip will tell me what I need to know. But for now, we'd better find Sue and Ben and make sure they're both all right. Look, two smoke plumes. They must have landed further inland. You know, Reed, this is all just so unreal. Ben's gonna freak when he gets a load of this. Speaking of Ben, what are we seeing here?
We're seeing slowly Ben start to take rock form very, very slowly, and it is some great body horror.
Just my luck. 75% of the planet's covered with water, but I still managed to slam into the side of a mountain. Looks worse than my crash in Iraq, but at least I'm. Ah! Head pounding. Pain. Too intense.
Yep, and
Huh?
you start hearing the crack.
No. This can't be happening. My hand's turning into rock? Can't feel anything.
You hear a nice crackle as he tries to open his hand that's now rock.
Mm. Hard, hard to breathe. Can't stand the pain. Body feels like it's being torn apart. Ah! Ben, Ben, is that you? I thought I heard your voice. It's one of the escape pods, but I don't see anyone around. What's that noise?
Beep, 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 beep.
Oh no, it's the quantum drive. It must have been shielded by the escape pod during re-entry, but the core's containment shell has been damaged by the impact. Reactor's becoming
Beep,
unstable.
beep, beep.
If it reaches critical mass and explodes, the entire island could be completely destroyed. I've got to find the others before it's too late. Somebody. Who, who's there? Please help me. Ben? Ah, I lost my footing.
Flash.
Is that you? Susie, what's wrong? Get get away from me. Oh, Ben, what's happened to you? And what do we see, Shane?
Um, we see the full transformation of the thing.
And we also see Dad Ass.
I was gonna skip that part. That was I it's there in all of its
It's
glory.
right there. Just
I was trying to not bring it up.
I'm sorry. It's just so
I,
prominently placed on the page.
I wanted to I really like the thing picture in this panel,
No, me
and I
too.
almost
It's
made
great. It's
I almost wanted to make this my favorite panel, but then I couldn't do it because of that.
I
Because
go
no
ahead.
one's gonna believe you that it's the thing that you're looking at.
I don't know, Susie. I've turned into a monster. Some kind of thing. Wait, there's something behind you. Look out! What the? What happened, Shane?
Uh, you hear roar, slash, slash, womp.
And Reed and Johnny take off towards the sound of this calamity.
Yep, they do.
Reed, that sounded like Sue. And we haven't a moment to lose. It came from this direction. Whoa, the ground's giving way. We've fallen into some sort of tunnel. And what do they find at the bottom of their fall?
The moloids.
Uh-oh.
Lots and lots of them.
Can things get any worse? So do we fight our way out? No, Johnny. Right now we have no idea what their intentions are. They seem harmless enough. Where do you think they're taking us? To their leader, I'd guess. And what do the Moloids do here?
They pick them up and start marching them off like they're heroes or captured. Your choice. Ants marching.
Look! They must use those funky road signs to get around these caves. Incredible. Those inscriptions resemble the signals we intercepted from the wormhole. Of course! This island must be one of the 2 points on Earth somehow linked to the anomaly. Reed, this entire cavern is glowing. The ambient light appears to be generated by the massive diamond formations embedded in the walls. Look! Down there in the valley! And what do they see, Shane?
They see Sue and Johnny, or Sue and Ben tied to a rock post, about to get attacked by one of the many monsters here on Monster Island.
It's Sue! She's been chained to some sacrificial altar. And about to become the main entree. We've got to do something. Can't be happening to me. Ben, snap out of it.
And you hear a nice roar as the monster launches at them.
It's all gotta be a dream. We're running out of time. Oh, God, no! And what happened, Shane?
Uh, she starts to turn invisible right as he looks like he's about to bite her, and you just see a roar question mark.
Susie, where'd you go? The monster ate her.
And that really makes him angry, and he finally breaks free of his chains.
You just made the last mistake of your ugly life.
Yeah, you get a nice solid wham with the full crossbody punch, and then the roar as his head is like as he's sailing away.
'Cause now it's clobbering time.
And then you get another solid thwam as he really lays into him this time to make sure that he knows that he's in charge here.
And Sue becomes visible again. Ben,
Hmm.
it's okay. I'm all right.
Susie, you're still alive?
I'm not exactly sure what happened. One second I was there, and then suddenly I became invisible. Chill out, folks. The cavalry's just arrived.
Johnny, Reed,
Ben,
is that you? What happened?
could we talk about this later, guys? The monster's back.
And he ain't our only problem, kid.
What do you mean, Ben? He's right. Look over there. It's the quantum drive. But how did it get down here? And how's that quantum drive looking, Shane?
Not great. It's steaming from the top and on the right has like just radiation leaking from it.
What you ought to be asking, Susie, is how long before it blows? Reed, we gotta find a way to shut it down before it's too late.
And then another player enters the scene. And who is this, Shane?
Oh, the best character in this book, also known as Mole Man. The best villain they have.
The only thing you shall do is perish at the hands of my minions. A proper fate for those who dare trespass upon my island.
Reed, who is this guy? From the look of things, I would say he's the leader of these creatures and the master of this underground domain.
What the heck does he want with us? I am the Mole Man. And by the will of the Great One, I now possess the power with which to bring all mankind to its knees. And today the four of you shall serve as an example of what happens to those who dare stand in my way.
Yo, can we talk about the fact that Mole Man is absolutely jacked?
Yeah, he is
Like,
he has been hitting the gym.
that's Gold's Gym, baby.
Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
I really like this look of the mole man, by the way.
The super jacked Mole Man?
I mean, I like the long fingernails. I like the fact that his suit is in tatters. He I get more of an impression of him being a man who has been living underground for quite some time.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I don't know if I like this seems so and maybe it's because it's recency bias sticking in my head. It is very reminiscent of like the Green Goblin from um Spider-Man what's it called? Unlimited.
Okay.
And they like just overjacked him up. I don't need my villains to be like Schwarzenegger.
That's true. I do feel like Mole Man is a little too jacked here, but aside from the physique, I do like his design.
Yeah, like I love the thing. I agree. I like the long fingernails. I like when he looks very mangy, like um the the villain from the what was he called? I was gonna call him the Rat King, but he's not the Rat King because it's a Batman character and not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character.
The Sewer King?
Yeah, the Sewer King. He tries to dress nice, but he's also all like mangy also because he's living in the sewer, so he is cut up and all.
Can I just say something here? Can I and I Nicol I did not mention this in episode 2 when we covered Fantastic Four #1. But do you know how insane I think it is that it's 2025, we are getting a new Fantastic Four movie directed by Matt Shakman, who has been involved with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for the longest time, and we do not have a Danny DeVito mole man.
You're
Absolutely
not.
nuts to me.
You don't know that you don't have a Danny DeVito mole man.
I've got a feeling, though, they are doing a lot of prequel work. It looks to call back to Fantastic Four #1. So we'll see how it works out.
You might get surprised.
It would make my day. Just saying.
He doesn't have to be the villain of the whole movie. He could just be there just for them for the backstory when they.
Well, yeah, obviously they're gonna fight Galactus at this point. I no.
Yeah, that got spoiled. I've tried to watch nothing because that ruined it for me real hardcore.
All right. Well, that leaves us with a big old to be continued.
Hmm. And I'm actually excited to continue this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you feel about this book, Shane?
I like this book. We talked a little bit about it beforehand, and this this is Lee's art is very um 90s. So you have to live with that. But the Fantastic Four #1 and bringing it up to the modern time for like a new generation, that's a great way to do it.
I mean, I will firmly stand by and say that, for the past 30 years, Jim Lee has been probably one of the top artists in comics. And with this issue of Fantastic Four, I don't think he disappoints at all. Like, yeah, when you look at the cover and the uniforms that they don't have yet by the end of this issue, but they do have those 90s uh, aesthetics, like the straps and whatnot. But I mean, everyone here does look like a kind of definitive version of themselves, at least, at least facially. Like, yeah, Reed might not have the gray temples, but like he's most certainly Reed Richards. Same with Sue's, look. His thing is absolutely phenomenal. I love his renderings of Johnny as well. Well, to a point, and we'll get to that. But yeah, his mole man's a little jacked, but overall, just the look of this book is exciting.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to get into issue 2.
Writing wise, how are you feeling about it? I mean, this is very much a big callback to the first third of Fantastic Four, Volume 1, #1. Updated for 30 years in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's what it is. It's just a callback slash retelling of the story to get people started. So I don't hate it, don't love it, just feel neutral on that. I mean, I am excited to see where it goes next, where they when they fight the Mole Man in issue 2. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have read this is my first time reading through the Heroes Reborn stuff, and I have read so much negativity about it. I thought it was going to be difficult to come to it from an objective place. Uh, that being said, I also read, like I said, 5 issues of Captain America and 1 issue of Avengers beforehand. Uh, I like this book. I think it's a fun take. It's a fun update. To be fair, I also liked a lot of stuff that Jim Lee was putting out at the time. Things like Wildcats and Gen 13 hold a little place in my heart. That might be nostalgia based, but uh, no, overall, I thought this was one of his stronger works at the time. And later on, when he ends up taking over the whole of the Heroes Reborn line to wrap it up, you can kind of see why. He was the creator that Marvel chose to stuck with during the rest of the process before once again relaunching those titles. Want to move on to our 4 things for the week?
sure, sure.
So this week we have favorite panel as always. And again, another This Age Poorly. And then we also have Page Turner moment and MVP.
Hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and start us off this week with my favorite panel because you went first last week. And I am going to go for, and this does not include the cover when we're looking at Marvel Unlimited, page 18, panel 1, which on
So
Marvel.
the crack when Sue kicks him in the face.
Yeah, man, literally Sue Storm kicking ass. Uh, it might be the fact that we have just spent so long with Sue in the Silver Age and all the misogyny that has been built around her. It is finally nice to read a book and watch Sue Storm literally just kick a guy in the face. And this is pre her having powers. Like,
Hmm.
that's a nice tone. Really enjoy it. And I mean, let's be real. Jim Lee draws just incredible figures. So, like, between both her and this dude getting whacked across the teeth, like, I don't know. This panel just speaks to me, and I absolutely love it. There are admittedly probably more iconic panels in the book, such as the reveal of the Thing and the explosion of this stellar anomaly and the reveal of the Mole Man. But just I love everything that this panel does to set Stu up as a character.
It's a great panel. Uh,
What do you got for favorite panel?
Speaking of the blowing up of this stellar anomaly, that's mine. So
Well,
that's page 25 without counting the cover. The whole page, the whole splash.
dude, that is a solid choice. Again, like I said, probably one of the more iconic panels. Might actually be my favorite rendering of the Fantastic Four's origin. Just because even if you take the context out of the fact that it's a stellar anomaly as opposed to just straight up cosmic rays, you still get the vibe of just them being bombarded by radiation in space.
Yeah, just ripped apart by radiation, yeah. Mine was mostly I really liked the beating up because like the rays are in the explosion and they still make sure the rays go through each panel on the bottom. And you really get that it drives home that like, hey, they couldn't even got away with it even if they thought they were going to get away with it.
Very true.
They gambled and I guess technically they won, but usually you lose.
Very true. All right. Well, you want to start us off with This Age Poorly?
Sure. Wyatt Wingfoot's constantly having a cigarette in his hand. It seemed so like of the 90s. Just unnecessarily there, but yeah, why not? Not something you would see rendered in many books now.
Well,
Maybe a
Disney
cigar,
doesn't
but
let people smoke. That's the thing now. You're not allowed to smoke now that you're owned by Disney.
well, I wasn't even just saying them. I'm just saying in general. S- You're not going to see a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah, he's really puffing away on that throughout the issue.
Yeah, it really reminds me of Samuel L. Jackson from Jurassic Park.
Trying to see where we get our first instance of it. I think it's once it almost makes sense though, because it's once they realize that
It's
the Force has
page.
stolen the prototype rocket that I feel like you really start seeing Wyatt smoke. Um, it might be a stress thing. He might have lit up because he's worried that they're going to screw up his entire mission.
No, his first time he goes to pick up a cigarette is when he meets Sue in the office.
Okay.
Before they board the airplane, he breaks out the old school cigarette container, like the metal one that used to clap and have your uh so you'd have like six cigarettes in there and then you'd have your matchbook.
No, you're right. Yeah, I missed that. But yeah. Well, it just goes to show that smoking is evil.
Yeah. So Star Trek, it's if you have a goatee, and in Marvel Comics, it's if you smoke. Yeah, what's yours? What's yours for this one? What's yours aged poorly?
So we're gonna go to page 17, panel one, where Johnny and Sue are being escorted by the two agents. Johnny's whole look is just a nightmare of comic book 1990s civilian attire. I want to clarify this. So this is a man who is in the midst of the California desert. He is wearing a turtleneck with a leather jacket over top of it. But the thing that really puts it over for me is the gloves. I just I cannot.
The driving gloves do it for you?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it and I like I don't even care about the high-waisted jeans, but it's just the gloves and the jacket and the turtleneck in the middle of the desert. To be fair, it does look like something Tom Cruise might try to get away with. I almost feel like Jim Lee based Johnny Storm's aesthetic off of Tom Cruise in like 1996.
He might have.
Fine, but looking at it in 2025, I cannot take it seriously at all.
I mean, looking at it in 1996, I wouldn't have took it seriously at all either.
So, oh, but yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll move on to the page turner moment. Which Shane, would you believe is also what your favorite panel was? I'm gonna go with page 25.
Oh
Uh,
yeah?
I feel like it is definitely the most exciting part of the issue. We all know, as it's a retelling, we all know that the Fantastic Four are going to come out of it. But I mean, the explosion of the cosmic anomaly and just how savage it looks, even knowing what's happening, you kind of gotta wonder what's coming next. How are they going to get out of this situation?
It's true. It's
And
true.
just the four panels at the bottom, everyone's facial expressions between Sue reacting to the panel next to her exploding and uh, Ben trying to shy away from the windscreen and Reed with his back turned and Johnny clutching his face, like all of those facial expressions and just poses just really ratchet up the anticipation.
Yeah, it's fair. I
What did you have for
loved.
your page turner moment?
So mine was like the final four panels of 24, which leads you to the explosion
Okay. So where they fired the nukes at the anomaly?
where they fire the nukes at the anomaly.
It was also on my short list.
Yep. It's really hard to just pin like the whole thing. You have to have the four to make it work. So I'm skipping the other stuff. I'm just talking about those final three triangles or the final four triangles there.
So I have a question for you, Shane,
Hmm.
while I'm looking at this page. The panel right over top of it, where we looked at the figure in the cosmic anomalies. You got any guesses?
It certainly looks like there's a board coming through that.
Yeah, you know what? You're kind of right. It does. Be interested to see if that pays off the way we think it's going to pay off.
That kind of looks like a Silver Surfer esque
I haven't
thing.
read that far into the run yet. I did read all of issue two. I actually I'm in the midst of issue 3 right now. So when we'll see when that's going to pay off. If it does, remember, this is only 12 issues, so I'm assuming we may end up with some loose plot threads.
I mean, Silver Surfer is definitely an easily lost plot thread if you're only doing 12 issues. So, all right, and then we have one more thing, right? Who's your MVP?
So my MVP for this issue is Ben Grimm. I really enjoy the framing of the narrative with Ben. The fact that you kind of get his premonition dream in there really informs how he ends up going through his transformation. But I mean, he also has some really great heroic moments here, particularly his staying behind to stabilize the ship to ensure the team's survival. His immediate thoughts are not self-preservation, it's how do I save my friends, which I thought was absolutely excellent. And then also, despite the fact that he is definitely going through it and in denial when he initially goes through his transformation, the minute that he thinks that that monster has eaten Sue, he just breaks free and goes to battle both Moloid and Monster. I think this issue is a wonderful spotlight of Ben.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to 100% agree with you because that was also my MVP was Ben. And it starts in the beginning, like when Sue's like, I need Reed to pick me up, and he's like, yeah, Reed's not gonna pick you up. He's doing other Reed stuff. I'm there for you, Susie Q. Like,
Ben Grimm
even
is the best friend that anyone could have in the Marvel Universe.
yeah, he really is. Um, unless your name's Johnny Storm.
There's a moment in, have you read JLA Avengers?
No.
It's something I highly recommend. Kurt Busiek and George Perez. But there is a moment where, despite the fact that everyone else is fighting, Batman and Captain America just look at each other and go, yeah, we should probably just figure out what's going on and let everybody else do their thing. And in doing so, Captain America contacts the Fantastic Four and they send Ben with a piece of equipment that can help them kind of figure out what's going on. And even Batman, in like their brief interaction, remarks upon Ben's nobility of spirit. It's actually a really cool moment. As a Thing fan, I definitely
Yeah.
think you need to at least read that issue. I think it's the first issue of the miniseries.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because that's just like even the end part, yeah, obviously where goes to save Sue or he thinks that Sue got devoured, so he's so angry. But the part that did it for me was the beginning, like the whole it wasn't even a question. He was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna take a limo. I'm gonna be there, and I don't care."
It's just a good guy.
Yeah,
It's a good guy. And the true MVP of the issue.
which is nice because Johnny was MVP for most of the other issues that we had this month.
It's true. Well, there's an evolution in comics that I've noticed about, especially in Marvel, is your bad boy character that kind of rules the decade. And Johnny kind of starts that in the 60s. And then when you get to the 70s, it transitions over to Ben. And then you get to the 80s and you get Wolverine. And then the 90s, you still got like maybe like Wolverine and the Punisher, Ghost Rider, they kind of share the load. And then you get to the 2000s with Deadpool. It's an interesting transition to watch as who their kind of bad boy most popular character is.
I just think it's just funny that uh like books so far apart and it still seems like it's gonna end up being most of the time Human Torch and the Thing that save the day for the rest of the team.
We'll see. That might change with the Hickman run. I know he does a large focus on Reed.
Yeah, Reed also is a large reason there a lot of the shenanigans happen in that.
I haven't read the whole
Reed,
thing. I'm looking forward to us diving into it eventually.
did you say you never read the whole thing?
I have not read the whole thing. I've read the beginning of it and I've read the end of it. I think I'm missing like one or two arcs in the middle.
It's a pretty big. I don't know how big technically. I don't think it's like the big. It's not one of the bigger runs, but it's a pretty big run, and there is some shenanigans that mostly is because of Reed.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't expect them to form a council of Reed Richards and have it go completely smoothly
Yeah, yeah.
at all.
Everyone's got to be the smartest man in the room at the same time.
Yeah, sounds like a recipe for disaster. And that's coming from a Reed Richards mark. So, all right. Well, as far as where you can find this story, I mean, feel free to root around in the back issue bins. But reprints wise, there was I believe it was a magazine format reprinting Marvel Heroes Reborn #1. It was a whopping 92 pages. It reprinted both Fantastic Four Volume 2 #1 and Iron Man Volume 2 #1. That was released in October of 1997. The first trade paperback that I could find was Heroes Reborn Fantastic Four Volume 1, which was released in October of 2006. And then you can also find it reprinted in the Heroes Reborn omnibus that came out in June of 2021, of which I am a proud, is proud the word proud owner? I don't know. We'll see. I haven't made it all the way through yet. We'll reserve judgment for when we hit issue 12.
Fair enough.
You can also find it on Marvel Unlimited. Adaptations, I would actually refer you back to episode 2, where we covered Fantastic Four Volume 1 #1. That'll give you all the adaptations you need. But yeah, any final thoughts regarding this issue this week? Fantastic Four
No,
Volume 2 #1.
no, this is a pretty good issue. I would recommend at least reading this issue. And even though it's just it sounds daunting because it's 40 pages, it's still a quicker read than the original 24-page run from Lee and Kirby. So,
No,
uh,
definitely enjoyed this book this week. I feel like it was built up in my head to be something so off base, and I was pleasantly surprised. Oh, one thing that I should mention, and I think I did earlier, but we now have all of our social media up and running for the most part. So, wherever you're listening to us, whether it's on iTunes, leave us a review or a comment and a review on Spotify. That would be great. Uh, you know, subscribe, have this in your feed all the time. Every week we drop on Wednesdays. But the big thing is we're now on Instagram, which is at Fan4Fancast. That is FAN, the number 4, FANCAST, Fan4Fancast. But the one that I'm probably most excited about is that we are also on Facebook at the Fantastic Four Fancast. And I would really like to kind of get a community of Fantastic Four fans going around on there. We can, post anything FF related, whether it be comic art, action figures, cartoon clips, opinions. Just all that we ask is that you be respectful. Everyone has an opinion and everyone's entitled to it. It's comics, so it's not the end of the world, so there's no reason to be heated about it. But we look forward to seeing you on there and interacting with you. I'd like to do some themed episodes coming up with like maybe top 10 lists and whatnot. So it'd be nice to be able to put up some polls and have listeners vote and allow us to kind of get things in order and compile those lists. So please join us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, whatever it is you want to do. But we'd be happy to have you around.
yeah, we're doing this for the funds. So it's always nice to get at least some kind of communication back so that we know that people are listening and we're not just doing it for our own amusement. Though we are doing it for our own amusement, we also are trying to bring a little amusement to the populace.
And your feedback is important to us. So yeah, if you have any suggestions going forward, you can also email us at fan4fancast@gmail.com. Again, that is FAN, the number 4, FANCAST@gmail.com. So any questions or feedback, we're more than receptive to it. Yeah. Next week, we are going to return to Volume 1 and pick up where we left off with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby with Fantastic Four number 4, which is important for what reason, Shane?
Um, oh yeah, that's right. That's the start of Namor.
The reintroduction of the mighty Submariner.
Yep, that's right. Namor time. The month of Namor shall begin.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I was just influenced because I'm going to end up at the beach next month at one point, but we'll see. Our July is pretty Namor heavy.
I will definitely not be ending up at the beach in any time soon.
It's fair. It's not for everyone. I'm not even necessarily a huge fan of the beach, but every once in a while I like to give it a shot. Anyway, he's Shane Murray. I'm Nate Charles, and once again, we would love to thank you for joining us for another episode of the Fantastic Four Fancast. And we'll see you next week.